Hey guys, this is Avi Wildman Hall, and today I kind of had an open-ended video I just wanted to talk about because the topic today is should you pursue what you're good at or should you pursue what you love, what you're passionate about? And I actually don't know the answer to this question, but it had me thinking because I'm reading this book right now called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And and that I'm still getting into it, but it just kind of talks about how tapping into the quantum field that kind of we're basically connected to ourselves in all things throughout space and time, and that the illusion of the here and now and the self and the ego, all this stuff, it's just that, just an illusion, and that all possibilities, all or all possibilities are existing parallel to each other at all times, and that therefore there's the there's alternate realities happening at the same time. Or one of them, I'm a rock star, and one of them, I'm a homeless person, right? Um, and so therefore, how we think, how we observe stuff, shapes which timeline we take. And I thought this just was really interesting. But then my experience in life has been always that when you try to force things to happen, there's always a karmic consequence to pay later on down the line. Like you can impose your will on the universe, but it's kind of like making a deal with the devil, where yeah, you can get things to happen how you want to, but then um, there's unexpected consequences later on. Whereas if you take the random opportunities that are presented to you, that the random doors that are opened in life, um, that's when I've really found that I had the best luck, right? Just go with the flow, go where life takes you, right? So, in line with that, I was going to talk about another self help book called Psycho Cybernetics, and in my opinion, this is the greatest self help book out there ever, especially for sports psychology. So, um, there's a lot in this book, but the biggest takeaway, the biggest technique that I found to be the most powerful that I learned from this book is if you can take an old memory of you being successful, um, like a time that you won a race or a competition or had like a really big achievement, like you got an A in a class, or you know, a girl told you that she liked you, whatever it is. If you can remember that and remember that feeling of success, and then think about your goal while remembering that feeling, it's a way to basically hardwire the mind, that the unconscious machines and processes going on inside your brain for success. Basically, um, just like there's a lot going on in the background when you're eating, breathing, sleeping, right? All these things, your body's doing all this stuff to keep you alive. Well, you can program it to do the same things the same way for your goals, right? And but you have to be careful what you think about, how you're thinking about it, and that's when they say just think positive. They aren't just being like, oh, just smile when things are shitty. No, they're saying you basically you gotta feel how it feels to win, and if you don't know how that feels or you forgot, you gotta at least pretend, and you gotta use your word choice carefully. Um, you know, if you're gonna say, it's kind of like the whole glass half empty, half full. Um, you know, there's a difference between how, if someone asks you how was it, if you say it was good or not bad, right? Um, Subtle difference, but I guess the idea is like if I told you right now, don't think about an elephant. Um, well, the first thing you have to do is think about an elephant in that instance. So if you say, "Oh, I don't hate this," right? The on the unconscious level, what you're thinking about first was like to hate that thing. Um, so yeah, just being really careful with um your language, but how you're speaking to yourself, right? And that's why complaining can be so toxic, and you should be very careful about how you're complaining, even if it's valid, right? And um yeah, when you're visualizing your goal, you have to have that great feeling, that feeling of success, feeling how good it is. Use the feeling that you have from a previous experience, right? And I think I said in a previous video too. Yeah, like dream large, be large. Um, but I guess the point of this video too is just to have a balance, right? Um, Live large, dream big, but when other opportunities are presented to you by life, don't fight it. You can change your goals. You can change your plan. I think it's always important to have a plan, especially a 5-year plan at least, um, if not a 10-year plan. Like I think of it always as like, okay, you should be trying to achieve mastery in something, and if it takes 10,000 hours or 10 years to achieve mastery in something, well, in that case, then you should have a 10-year plan in mind to get there, right? Um, so yeah, just there's some of the things I was thinking about for this video. It's just a real open-ended video, kind of a video diary, I think, today. I actually just came back from a weekend trip to Kazakhstan, to Almaty, Kazakhstan. I'm back in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, different countries. And yeah, a very interesting place also is the Central Asia. You can see the real mix of ethnicities between Asian and Western. Um, you can see that it's just really heavy Russian influence. So, I felt like Kazakhstan felt more Russian than Uzbekistan does. Uzbekistan has more of a Middle Eastern feel to it, even though they're heavily Russian influenced also. And I just find that interesting because I don't know, just all these countries are so similar, but they're different. I kind of think of it like the different states of the United States. Because right now, yes, they're different countries, right? But like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Russia, they're different countries. But 30 years ago, they were all one country. They were the same country. And I kind of think of it as like, okay, well, what if you have the United States and then, Georgia and Alaska and Colorado and California and New York, they all decided to, become their own countries. Um, if Colorado and Georgia became their own countries, um, yeah, they're different, but there's a lot in common. I mean, they're very, very similar. They're different flavors of a similar thing. And that's how I felt about Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. And so that was just really interesting to see. The weather was a lot cooler in Almaty, Kazakhstan, a lot more humid. It wasn't as dry as Tashkent. Uh, Tashkent is still summertime, even though it's September. Whereas in Almaty, it felt like fall. It was a little bit cool in the evenings and the mornings. A little bit overcast at times. Um, and Another thing I discovered is at the airport, a lot of people really like to cut in line. I'd only experienced this before when I was living and traveling in China. So a little bit annoyed by that. Had to get a little bit surly with a person or two for trying to cut in front of me. Give them a stern warning, a polite but stern warning. And so yeah, it was a little bit hectic, but um yeah, another country visited, and just constantly trying to challenge ourselves, expand our horizons, and live and learn. So anyway, I'm Zavi Wildman Hall, and this is the video for today. Talk to you guys later.